And hello to everyone, all the Co-Founder Club community and startup, I suppose the startup community as well. Good morning, good afternoon, wherever it is you are in the world. My name is Keith, and this is the Startup Sales Mastery video podcast where we sales professionals share everything that we know with you guys. How we do sales, how we get customers. As you can probably tell today, I'm in a new office. I literally walked in here about 10 minutes ago, and I still have to get the place all organized. But I have a nice window which is overexposing the hell out of things. I don't know if you can see that. I'm right up high again, as always, and this time we have the balcony, so I'm super excited. Okay. I'm gonna have my coffee while I go through this. Customer persona week. Now, I've gone through customer personas when I first started doing these podcasts. It is one of the most important things overall. However, people keep asking me again and again simple things like, how do I know what to charge? How do I, build the, I suppose it's all customers. It's all getting customers, everything to do with getting customers. That's what Startup Sales Mastery is. So quite frankly, I will do customer persona week 6 or 7 times if that's what I have to do. I'm going to be focusing on a different element of the customer persona spectrum, if you will, today. As standard with day 1 of my weekly video podcast weeks, I always go through a bit of an overall of what we're going to do, why we're going to go through it, and exactly what the plan is. Let me have a little look here. Let's see what we've got coming up during the week. Customers that you want versus customers that you don't want, I'm going to cover tomorrow. Remember, when we talk about customer persona, selecting the correct customer, it really is important to select your ideal customer, ICP. If it's in enterprise buyer personas, I'm going to go through all that now today, but I'm just saying this is a lot more important than you think. Selecting the right customers and bringing in the right customers is not only what helps you get customers, but what sets you up for success. If you just take any customers that give you money, your business is probably going to fall apart to a degree unless you're in the B2C realm. In B2B, you really have to be selective about your customers, and there's reasons for this. B2C, you still have to be selective that they're taking the service that you provide, or the slight pivots. But when you try and deliver things to too many people, it all sort of falls apart, and you can't automate and streamline that operation. This is where the whole sort of customer personas come into play. And yes, if you are e-commerce or something like that, it's a customer avatar. Ultimately, you want to give your customers a name and go through the specific details, yada, yada, yada. I'll go through all of that on, Wednesday, I believe I'm going to go through. Wednesday and Thursday, I'll be going through more of this in detail about the personas. Again, as most people know, I spend literally half an hour going through this on the Startup Sales Mastery program. And the whole reason I'm not going to go through it again is because I give that first video away for free. So if you go to startupsalesmastery.com, should be links above, below. There's links everywhere. It all takes you there. You can literally get the customer persona, 30 minutes from start to finish, everything you need to build your customer personas. I'm not going to do that here today. Today, I simply want to get across, if you and I were having a conversation one-on-one, this is where I'd start the conversation, and I'd really tell you it's important. I'm going to go through the whys today. Watch that video, you'll get the hows. Right now, we're just going to go through the whys. Okay, I'm taking my deep breath, and here we go. So why do we need to sell to one type of customer and not to another type of customer? Firstly, I need to back up the why. This isn't my why, this is the industry why. If you go to any big high-tech company out there, SaaS specifically, you're going to notice that they have sales development representatives. And if you've ever been in contact with sales dev work, you know that your job is effectively, quality control. You're filtering the good from the shit. That's actually the biggest part of your job. Yes, you're there to set up appointments for the AEs, the account guys, account executives, but your job really is to qualify and disqualify, if you will. That's the job of sales dev, and sales dev I mean, it's a huge industry. They make a lot of money. I've done it. I mean, my first year, what was it, 60, 65? Like brand new, right out the boat, 65K. You can get yourself up. I think now this was years ago. I think now standard OTO is what, like 80 to 120K. This is SDR, sales development reps. Most people go in and they say, "Ooh, the wages are low." Yes, the wages are if you can't hit your targets. But if you can hit your targets, like I did, most of the other guys that I was working with, it is serious money, and their only job is to qualify and disqualify. If that wasn't their job, they'd just hire, crappy, cheap receptionists to handle the inbound calls and then, put them on to account executives. That's the reason why they're spending an awful lot of money. So I just want to go through that why with you when we come to customer personas, that even the largest enterprise companies, they spend an awful lot of money at every step, including, the marketing end, targeting one type of person, and then filtering one type of person, and then only accepting one type of person for their, account executives to go and sell to. They could sell, I mean, at the end of the day, most tech companies are based on technology, and then they turn that technology into an offer, into a service. They could modify that technology into 50, 60 different things for 50, 60 different customer types and market to them all, but they don't. Now, again, I think that lesson alone, if you don't like me and you don't want to listen to me and go, what the hell does that guy know? Look at every company that's been succeeding over X amount of time. Again, B2C is a slightly different ball game. I'm going to focus on B2B for this conversation because it's my area of expertise. I don't do B2C. I mean, it just doesn't come up with most of my clients, so I'm not overly experienced with it. I'll point that out because I know there's exceptions, but definitely in the B2B world, anything successful, look at Salesforce. Ooh, they sell to all types of companies. Yeah, but that's not how they started. They sold to one specific type, and even now they have their corporate division and their large division and their SME division. They sell to different types, and they've also broken it down into industries. Again, you look at any of the CRM, CMSs, even email automation. You start to see that they do all these different like blogs, but they're really targeting a specific industry primarily. I know that we look at other industries and like, oh, we do this industry, we do that industry, we do this, we do this, we do this. Okay, they're big. They have departments on each one of this, and each department is targeting that one little person. Trust me, I know these things. So this is the whole sort of point about customer personas. The why is really, really simple. If you solve one problem, I mean, really solve. No, I'm not talking about giving a service. I'm not talking about giving a technology. I'm not talking about giving a nice tool. I'm talking about solving a very, very big problem that, is really, really bothering someone. It's like the bane of their life. It's killing them. It's crippling them. They hate it. Can you solve that one problem for one type of person? This is really what it's all going to come down to. If you can, then you are like a spear fisherman. You're boom torpedoing. The target. You're hitting right on the bullseye. That is ultimately what the game here is. So if you have one type of persona and you know exactly what it is, again, most industries, we actually give it an avatar. So we give it a name and even a picture and a male, female, age. We get really, really specific. What we're actually doing here is that every single day when we do anything, whether it's a sales campaign, marketing campaign, we meet someone on the street, we are chatting to friends of ours, our brain is constantly 100% in line with that target. What do you do? Oh, I solve this problem for this type of person by doing this. Do you know anyone like that? And we're sending out that same message again and again and again and again and again in all the different mediums, and people will hit. You'll hit because eventually it will come across people that actually have that problem. When it comes across people that actually have that problem, your call to action, again, your CTA, I practice what I preach, is contact me, get in touch. They'll get in touch. Now they get in touch with your inbound. Your inbound is also saying the same message. What do you do? Oh, we solve this problem for this type of person by doing this. I don't suppose you have that problem. Why? Actually, yes, I do. Oh, tell me more about that problem. One thing leads to another. We go through our qualification questions to make sure that you're fully qualified, and then we go to the next step, which could either be a demo or a free trial or a close. But the point is that we have a nice flow. Okay, we have a nice flow with a nice type of customer that we know at every step, including the fulfillment, that we can actually deliver on. That is how you create the automated machine. Now, I don't think you need to be a rocket science to answer this next question. What the hell do you think happens if you start accepting people into this flow that don't meet all of that criteria? Well, at every single stage, you're going to have to modify and pivot. And there's your problem right there. So they come in, what do you do? Oh, we do this. I don't suppose you have a problem. No, I don't have that problem, but I have a different problem. Oh, so then, and now you're starting a different conversation, and the fulfillment has to be, it becomes a mess. As you get bigger, you can turn around and say, well, we solved these three problems, 1, 2, 3. Which one of them is giving you the most problem? Oh, problem number 3. Excellent. Well, let me pass you on to the account executive that specializes in that area. You can get to there. But even in that example, I'm very specific about the customer personas I want. If you're not on that list, you're off that list. You need to get rid of the customer personas that you don't want. Specifically, and again, I know money's money, but let's say, for example, people who are constantly going to be on the phone asking questions. So I previously had a online jewelry manager, one of my better clients, as most people know. And one big problem is I needed to be careful of the kind of people who just weren't, tech savvy. Because if they weren't tech savvy, here's what's going to happen. I'm going to get them on board, and then customer success team, they're going to be onto the customer success team 6 or 7 times a day, driving them crazy. And probably in a month or two, they're, shall we say, not going to get along. It's going to fall off the tracks, and we're going to lose the client. So we're putting all that work in for a month or two where it hasn't really worked. In SaaS, you don't really make money in a month or two. You make money over at least 12 months. So it's not going to be worth it. So someone that wouldn't be tech savvy was on my non-customer persona list, and I'd ask that question right at the beginning, and tell me about your computer skills. Ooh, I know computer, excellent. So how are your Excel skills? Tell me a little bit about the way you run your spreadsheets. Well, I get someone to do it. Boom, DQ there and then. I can, modify it if the budgets are big and the need is big and maybe they have someone in play. But I will always have, with every campaign that I do, my 6 or 7 qualification, usually 2 or 3 DQs. So I know what I'm doing. This is standard SDR stuff for, qualifying, disqualifying your inbound. You should never really be having it like a blind conversation. It should all be structured. I am talking about customer personas. People may be thinking, hang on, you're talking about SDR. No, I'm talking about the customer persona. I'm talking about the why of the customer persona. Again, let me remind you all that startupsalesmastery.com is a whole series on how to, from start to finish, your complete roadmap for getting customers every step of the process. And the first step of the process, which is customer persona, I give away for free. So you want to see the whole thing, how it's done, you go see it. It's on me. Don't you worry about it. I am right here giving you the big why. And we're going to go through all this week, because this is where we're sort of going to bring sales and customer persona together. That really is the why. So we need to be solving a problem. Everybody says that, and it's like, well, yeah, duh. But then when I see CEOs pitch, they start pitching about all the features that they have, and I'm like, yeah, okay, great, it does all these things, but what problem are you? Well, now they can do email. Okay, but what problem is that solved? Well, if they can't do email, they can't connect with their customers. Okay, again, there's lots of email providers out there. So what problem are you solving specifically? You see what I'm trying to get at here? In every example, you have to ask yourself, what is the problem that you're solving? Not the problem that you want to solve, but what is the problem that your customer actually has? This is where the customer persona comes in, okay? So who is it you're selling to? Anyone that'll buy my product? No. You pull that kind of crap, you can't scale. Okay, I'm sorry, but you can't scale. You can't even run effective marketing that way, let alone sales campaigns. When I go to sell something to someone, unless I'm super clear about what's going on, the whole thing falls apart. I've been doing sales for years, and even I can honestly say that it's going to fall apart unless I have some sort of direction of the path I want to walk my prospect down. Customer persona. I need to know my customer persona. The marketing guys need to know their customer persona. We need to know our customer persona. We need to know who is not our non-customer personas. We need those two things very, very clear. The reason we want our non-customer personas is so that we can exclude certain people from our list. Marketing is going to do this more than sales, but if I get someone in, um, I think on a previous client, they had to have a project in the next 6 months, like an actual, not just having a sales department and a biz dev department and a need and all. They actually had to have an active project coming up in the next 6 months. Why? Because if they didn't have an active project, perhaps they bought the software, but then they wouldn't use it for a minimum of 6 months. And what happens when you don't use a piece of software? You put it on the automatic. Oh, this is crappy. We didn't get our value out of it, and boom, you've lost the client. The idea here was that, look, if we can't sell it to them now, we'll sell it to them in 6 months, 12 months, whenever. But when we sell it to them, it's going to have oomph so that they'll do their project, love it. Maybe they'll use it again, maybe they won't. But now it has value for that particular client, and they're going to keep paying for it. We will not lose the client. No churn. We don't like churn in this business, especially SaaS. As you can tell, I specialize more in SaaS because this is the way B2B is mostly going with tech. Other products are good. I just love getting reoccurring revenue. This is where the customer persona is at its absolute most importance. I spoke with someone in the printing industry earlier on today. I'm giving them a call after this podcast, and literally the big complaint, the only reason we haven't started doing anything is because I keep saying, look, who's your customer persona? Oh, well, we're gonna get into schools and universities and all that have printers. Excellent. So who am I contacting? Well, I mean, they have distributors. Excellent. Can you get a list of those distributors? Well, those distributors go through a tender process. Okay, great. Can you get me a list of them? Well, I don't know. Do we go through the universities for the tenders, or do we go through the? Who is your customer? Who is the actual person you want to sell a product to? I've had other people who've given me, answers like, well, this is the person. Oh, but I actually need to sell to this person to get to that. Who is your customer? Okay. It's a very, very simple question that the majority of people that, I do business with, I specialize in early stage startups. I've been doing this for many, many years. To me, I'm practiced. I'm not trying to sort of look down on anyone and say I'm better than anyone else. I have years and years of experience. Okay, so please don't take this as me trying to be cocky or trying to look down and going, come on, guys, what the hell? But this whole week is customer persona week for a reason. And I'm spending the full 20 minutes today. I am not going to shortchange this video podcast. Customer persona. Who is your customer? Everyone. Oh, for the love of God, gentlemen, pick a very specific customer. The more niche, the more specific you can get. I mean, if you can tell me who he is, look, my customer, perfect customer is Mark, okay? Now he is 5'10". He's male, and he has, brown hair, and he has it parted on the sides. Very, very formal. He wears a suit. More often than not, he's going to wear a gray, shiny suit with a tie, white shirt, and he has a wife at home. Very, very clean home, and one kid. Likes to keep it all simple. His house is nice, a little on the small side. He drives a nice jet black, shiny. Let's go with a Lotus. He's going to be in the UK all of a sudden. I saw that car the other day. I love that car. Okay, so he drives his Lotus from, London. London in one of the suburbs, and goes straight into the city centre where he works as part of an office team. That team is part of 6. Mark is the man in charge, but he's not the CEO. He's the second in command, but he actually runs the office. The owner is off gallivanting somewhere, yada, yada, yada. Now I know I'm looking for guys like Mark. I can describe him so well. I'm only looking for guys like Mark, and I'm not looking for anybody else. If you can do that, everything from your prospecting to your marketing to your sales to your fulfillment to your evangelism, that's when you get customers and other people to actually sell on your behalf, everything becomes clean and clear. Okay? This is customer persona. All this week, I'm going to be going through the customer persona, shall we say, skills and things that we need to do to actually get our customer personas and turn them into customers. because that's what this is all about. Startup Sales Mastery. I'm not just going to waffle on. I'm going to actually give you guys some real stuff. Startupsalesmastery.com. There's links above, below, wherever it is you're watching this from. That will take you to the Startup Sales Mastery page. And I specifically put in there a free video of the full customer persona for you guys. You get the whole thing for free. If you want to get the rest of the program, it's, oh no, a whole $47. Yeah, I just sort of put it in at that low price just because, you know, something, just take it. Why don't I do it for free? If you want to watch through hundreds of hours of podcasts to get the whole thing, you go ahead. That's just me summarizing the whole thing, giving it straight to you. And it also comes with a private Facebook and a private WhatsApp group where you can ask me anything you want. Consultancy usually costs a few $1,000s, and boom, I'm saying $47. So come on, with all due respect, I don't need to try and sell this, I don't think, anymore. With regards to customer persona, I really hope that you've actually gotten the point. Tomorrow and next week, let's have a quick look. What are we going through? You can have a look. It's also in the, the Co-Founder Club playlists. You'll see in the playlist everything upcoming, because I always put it there so you can see it. But why won't this load? Okay. Daily podcast, Startup Sales Mastery. We are in Customer Persona Week. So Customer Personas 101. I think I just went through all that. The customers you want versus the customers you don't want. I'm going to go through this again tomorrow, getting into more detail, and then getting customers to buy instead of listen. I'm actually going to go through, once we know our customers, our non-customers, and their problems, now we can actually start crafting ways to get them to take action instead of just teaching them, because, you know, teach them another time. We want them to give us money today. Customers only respond to this one thing. That's actually not just a funny statement, it's truth. They will respond to one thing. And if you've gone through all these 4 days in these video podcasts, I will tell you what that one thing is. Because if I tell you now, it'll be like, yeah. But if I tell you then, it'll actually click light bulb style. And then charging customers, because that is one I get a lot of. How do I know the most amount of money to charge? For the first time, I'm actually going to have to give you guys a sales lesson, because there is a method for doing this. So I am just going to give you straight off the sales lesson this time. Anyone asks, you're professional sellers with a good foundation. I will give you the actual process for doing this. Good luck. Go make some money, give it hell. And if you need anything at all, I mean, we've got links everywhere. Get in touch with me. Good luck. And I'll see you all tomorrow. Bye-bye.